Hey everybody, it's Golmadex and welcome back to some more Magic Green, and today we're going to be playing another premiere draft of Tarkir Dragonstorm while I'm out on vacation. This was pre-recorded a while ago. I don't even know if that's particularly relevant because this is still the newest set on Arena, so you can all premiere draft it right now. So it's less confusing than the other flashback drafts on the channel lately. Anyways, that whole spiel out of the way, let's get into the pack one pick one here. We got tons of great options. The awesome thing about it is that they're all monocolored. We opened literally every single exhale: Molten Exhale, Piercing Exhale, Osseous Exhale, Dispelling Exhale, and Caustic Exhale. That's insane. There's also a Clarion Conquer here if we want to lean towards an aggressive strategy, but I like Molten Exhale a lot here. I think red is an excellent color to start in this format because it plays super well for the aggressive Boros decks, but also if you start with the great red removal spells, you're taking a bunch of stuff that plays great in the Teamer 4 or 5 color splashy decks too. So Molten Exhale is one of my favorite pack one pick ones lately, and I think that's what I'm going to take here for its huge flexibility. Pick 2, Mardu Devotee is one of the best Mardu cards, but Static Snare also maintains that flexibility where even on the defensive, this costs less for each creature that is attacking you. So it's great efficient removal, whether you are Boros aggro or you're a slower deck using it on the defensive. And obviously removal spells are going to be great in either kind of deck. So I like the Static Snare here for flexibility. Raw Power, Martyr Devotee is deceptively good, maybe even better than Static Snare, but this is great in terms of the flexibility it provides us. Pick number 3 now. Now the Boros cards are very, very mediocre with these 4, but kind of the whole pack's pretty mediocre. We can speculate on a Sultai Monument for good fixing towards 4 or 5 color. That's probably the highest card quality out of any of these cards. Or we could take Kintree Severance, which is another removal spell to speculate on here. Even if we're Boros, if we go into Mardu, we can cast this for a white, black, and 2. So that would work in Boros or other decks. I feel like the fixing is really important when you become 4 and 5 color, though, and the monuments are some of the better ways to do that, so I'll speculate on Sultai Monument there. Pick number 4, Fortress Kinguard's one of the better cheap creatures for Boros, but Quarry Mountain Monastery is sick. If you're flooded out at all, this is a huge card dredge, and you just get to play this over a mountain and just vastly improve your deck. It's a strict upgrade over a basic mountain. Um, I mean, not always, because technically it could come into play tapped, but usually it's just always strictly better than a mountain. Pick 5, Mammoth Bellow, Knockout Maneuver, some really strong green cards here moving towards Teamer potentially. Drop the Static Snare, go for Teamer Beats. That looks fine to me. Those are the 2 best cards in this pack by a lot. I think I go Knockout Maneuver over the Mammoth Bellow. Mammoth Bellow is still a good card, but it's a card that always looks way better than it actually is to me. Because every time I see it, I always want to just insta slam dunk it, but it has some problems in the set. There's a bunch of ways to bounce tokens and just kill those 5/5s at very little cost. Try to counteract its value pretty well. So pick 6 here. We could go really aggressive teamer, taking the Champion of Doosan. Card plays super well with Knockout Snare, so I do like that, or Knockout Maneuver. Getting all my cards mixed up. There's nothing good for Boros or Mardu. We would just take a Narset's Rebuke there, which is still a good removal late. I think I can take Champion to go with Knockout Maneuver. Pick 7. Blossoming Sands helps us splash in a Static Snare into a Teamer deck, or if we go full 5 color, it also helps us out. Roamer's Routine also helps for full 5 color, and it plays really well with the Champion of Doosan, actually. We can flash this back for only 1 mana because the champion makes it cost 4 less to flash back. Actually, go Roamer's Routine. Pick number 8. Solid cards to splash into a Boros deck leading towards Mardu. I think Salt Road Skirmish is my favorite of them, but Martial Lost can get like one really big swing in the turn you play it. Then it usually dies after that, but pretty big swing the turn you play. Pick 9, Osseous Exhale, Caustic Exhale, and Bone Cairn Butcher. These are solid Mardu cards still running around. Maybe you could go black-white at the core here, becoming Obzon or Mardu from there. I mean, both of our red cards we took pretty highly. This is some good black and white showing up late. The pick is definitely not the Butcher. I can tell you that for sure. It's one of the 2 exhales. I'm gonna lean towards the Osseous Exhale here. Wow, pick 10 Mardu Devotee? Maybe I've just been misreading this whole pod. What is going on? Well, I mean, I will take that here. I think we're leaning towards white now. My train of thought has been completely derailed by pick 10, Mardu Devotee. So... I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. Teamer or Mardu. Underfoot Underdogs is good for Mardu with the cards that care about having a lot of creatures on board or attacking with a lot of creatures. And Undergrowth Leopard is just super filler in green. Okay, last pick Narset's Rebuke. The card's not a massively high pick, but getting it literally last pick is a decent sign for Mardu-y, just red stuff in general. So now I can take the Salt Road Pack Beast. That makes our Underfoot Underdogs a lot better. This card is just exceptional. I like Sun Pearl Kieran as well, but Pack Beast has been absolutely pivotal to getting your Mardu decks to keep the game rolling in the late game. Make sure that you're still adding more threats to the board while drawing more cards. Make sure you're still playing more spells from there. Pack 2, pick 2. Frustrating pack to open. Only one card has been taken out of this pack, and there's nothing good in Mardu. So unless there was one good Mardu card and it got taken, then this pack just didn't have good Mardu. There's a lot of 2 rare packs, so there's probably like 2 rares. They took the second rare, and this is the poop we're left with. The only good card is Songcrafter Mage, really, for teamery nonsense, which is kind of unlikely at this point. Bummer of a pack. Alright, Shocking Sharpshooter's an absolute banger. Sipsig Appraiser is too, but I'm heading Mardu and not Teamer. Splashing into Mardu, not splashing into Teamer, or splashing into Jeskai, so I don't think the Jeskai Monument is good. But I do only have one actual black spell I'm splashing in right now. And if we find a really strong Jeskai card to splash in, Jeskai Monument is a very, very good way to fix towards it. That's still relevant later in Boros decks, because 2 1/1 flyers can chip in for easily 2 to 6 damage in the late game, find the kill. Yeah, this is worth the speculation over just a Stormshriek Feral, because it is very good. Pick 5, another Kinguard. It's great with the Pack Beast, great with the Sharpshooter. Like that. Pick 6, another Kinguard, but I need another Molten Exhale. This is not the kind of card we're going to see late at all. I mean, we saw it pick 6, which is insane to me, but I don't think we'll see many more copies in the future, but we could get more Kinguard and Underdog kind of cards later. Kinguard is significantly better than Underdogs, though. It's giving us basically the same card for 1 less mana. Pick 7, Sonic Shrieker. Feels good. Ian Mardu. It is now getting incredibly unlikely we actually use this Jeskai Monument. But hey. We were speculating over just the 3/3 Haste Dragon for 5. Alright, I think all we really need to do here is get a bunch of good creatures, and there's a Kinguard pick 8, so we're not having a problem doing that. But I've got 6 non-creature spells. All of them are good removal spells. Pretty much exactly what you want in Mardu. If we just load the deck up with a bunch of solid creatures throughout the mana curve, we've got a great aggressive Mardu build. The more aggressive your deck is, the more important it is to hit your colors on curve and play out your creatures on curve consistently. So when I say Mardu deck, I really mean Boros Splash Black for the late game spells. We don't want to take any early black creatures at all. Even a late game one like Adorned Crocodile is almost definitely getting cut, but it's the only card there that has a slight chance of getting played. Pick 10, I would really not like to play Tempest Hawk, but I'm definitely not playing Embermouse Sentinel or Unrooted Ancestor. And I would only play this Hawk if we get a second copy, and even then I wouldn't be happy with it. 7th non-creature spell's a little bit high here with another Narset's Rebuke. But we'll take what we can get here. I'm definitely not playing Seize Opportunity though, so I'll take the 4 mana filler card. I just don't have room for another filler non-creature spell. But I do for another filler creature, and there's another filler creature, Devoted Duelist. Sure, come on in. I will cut that if I get enough good creatures, but for now, that joins the party. As does our pack 3 pick 1 rare. Onofenza Unyielding Lineage is great. Flash this in whenever they're using a removal spell on one of your other creatures, and you get a 2/2 spirit back out of that card. Plus, now they have to kill Onofenza before they kill anything else, or she does some great, great work. Our most filler cards right now, if we get enough creatures, are the Tempest Hawk and the Sun Shield we'd like to cut for other cards. Pack 3, pick 2, a second Shocking Sharpshooter is fantastic. Yep, best card in the pack. For us. There were pretty good off-color cards in that pack. I like Quarry Mountain Stalwart a lot. I also like the Strike Master. These are both very, very good options. Being able to flurry, get some damage on your opponent without playing creatures is great, but so is just a 3/1 aggressive card when you don't need the ramp, but also like mana dork for ramp when you do. This one's like really flexible. It can kill late game dragons too. I really, really do enjoy both these cards. I guess I'm supposed to probably lean on Strike Master here, because Stalwart has the tiniest chance in the world of wheeling, but Strike Master will never as a monocolored card. Frontline Rush is beautiful. This can get a kill out of nowhere, but it also counts as a creature early in the curve. I like this card so much for its ability to just randomly kill your opponent with that huge +X/+X that it's a little bit of a hard sell, but I am going to take it over Thunder of Unity, which is also quite nice. This is strictly a draw spell with a little burn attached. This could also be creatures on the creature curve, and I have a bunch of good non-creature spells. Not like great ones, but good enough that if I take Thunder of Unity, I'm like cutting an Exhale for a Thunder of Unity or a Rebuke for a Thunder of Unity, instead of where I take Frontline Rush and I get to cut a really mediocre creature for it and improve my deck a lot with that pick, as I do with a second Quarry Mountain Monastery. Jeez, all right, come on in. Pick number 6. Oh, all the creatures are dying up. There's no creatures here. Was that 2 Songcrafter Mages as well? Weird. Double Monastery, double Songcrafter Mage in this pod. I think I passed another one, pack 3. Some weird rares getting open. Alright, the rest of this pack is bad. Sad to see no creatures there. Alright, here's a Rescue Leopard. Oh, but Dalkovan Encampment? I have 4 lands right now. This is 22 non-lands. Sunshield is pretty filler. Leopard is very, very filler, but I get to cut Tempest Hawk if I get more creatures, which is kind of a big deal. I have like 4 more picks to find better creatures for these. I'm taking Encampment. Card is just so good over Plains. Okay, thank God. We got some creature options here. Stormshriek Feral at the top of the curve. That would be basically the replacement for Sunshield, because that's higher on the mana curve. Or we could take Practitioner as the replacement for Tempest Hawk. I really like the flexibility of the Feral, the early kind of card draw spell too, so take that. Awkwardly, though, I think Tempest Hawk is so much worse than Sunshield itself to cut the Hawk. More like directly cutting based on curve. Pick 9, I probably play Overwhelming Surge over the second Rebuke. That's pretty close. 5 damage is a lot bigger than 3. There's plenty of stuff that won't die to 3 in this format. 5 lands. 23 non-lands right now? Uh-oh. Currently, I have to run every single card I've got left in the deck. Oh, baby, that's why you let the Quarry Mountain Stalwart get past. You wheel it, and you are the happiest player in the pod. Oh my God, that pick worked out. And then we got a Reigning Victor too, so I get to cut the Sunshield. Yes, don't mind if I do. Although it may still be better to cut another Land or non-creature spell. Yeah, this deck can cut a land. I have 1 5-drop because I can also use the Feral as a card draw spell at 2 mana. Okay, so I cut a land and 1 other card. Oh, this is sick. So probably a land in the Sun Shield. So goodbye 1 land. And then 16 creatures. I have 16 creatures and Frontline Rush being the 17th if I play it as the 2/1/1s. So I'd still be on a 15 or 16 creature deck cutting the Sun Shield, so I'm pretty sure I'm cutting the Sun Shield as the worst creature. Sure thing. Get out of here, and we've got a deck on our hands. Static Snare is much cheaper removal. Put that lower on the curve. I have 2 Monastery and an Encampment. I kind of want to cut another non-land card here. Because, like, with 3 rare anti-flood prevention lands, I don't think we're flooding, even with a 17-lander. So, at this point, we cut a non-creature spell. Turn another one of these. I actually think Rebuke's probably better than Overwhelming Surge in most games. When your opponent has, like, their Dragonstorm Globe on the board, and you get to kill their 3/3 and blow up their globe, that's Magical Christmas Land. It is very good when that happens, but I think more often than not, it's going to be better to kill bigger creatures later. Yeah, I'm going to keep the Rebukes. They also play well with the Stalwart Flurries. I'll go back to 17 lands here. 15 red cards, 11 white, and 3 black. We've got 8 white sources, 8 red sources, and 3 black. That sounds really nice on those counts. Yeah, sounds good to me. 8-8 split. We're technically a little heavier on red than white in this deck, but white gives us a Mardu Devotee, so it feels like just as important, because sometimes our white fixes the black, or sometimes our white fixes the red, I mean also the black, but there's that. Red never fixes to the white. Yeah, we'll go perfect 50-50 on it. Yeah. Great looking Mardu aggro deck here. Very happy with this one. Very excited to see how it does. So without further ado, let's hop into the gameplay. Here we are for game 1 with Unkeepable Mana. Roll to 6. We're on an 8-8-3 split, and the mana draws are horrific so far. Do I have to mulligan to 5 to start this draft off? I have Kinguard, and then I wait for red. 8 red sources. This is better than the first hand. I still don't know it's good enough to keep. I can ditch one of these Rebukes. I'm not very happy right now, but I think it's barely a keep. Since we're on the draw, get another draw step towards red. It's such like a close borderline here that I think it's a mulligan on the play, but I'll keep it on the draw. Blue and red from our opponent. Spectral Nile, our first play. Our first true draw steps are Plains 3, Plains 4. Our first three draw steps are Plains 3, 4, and 5. There's only 3 plains left in the deck now, and 8 mountains. I guess not exactly plains and mountains, but white sources and red sources. Well, I've got the snare for that. At least they didn't get to flurry with it. Hey, look who it is. Fashionably on time. Underdogs is the most mana efficient play, but Strike Master's better on the board. I've got enough mana to play everything in my hand easy. We'll just play the better card. Can't activate encampment and play underdogs in the same turn, so I guess I'm not. Just like blue-red control over there, from what I've seen so far, which is not a lot. I would expect like teamer late game stuff over Jeskai aggro stuff. Still have the 2-mana up for a frontline rush if I go encampment. I kind of want to keep the encampment though and go for the static snare instead. Actually, Osseous Exhale would be the best card to play here. Because static snare can kill something really big. Yeah, it is Teamer. There's the green source. Show me the trick. More likely the counter spell here, but we'll see. Nope, no counter. No Karakick Guardian. That is not a Karakick Guardian. But it is 2 creatures off 1 spell, which is kind of gross. Plays well against removal. I am chump attacking with a 1/1 here. I did not quite think this through. I should have just static snared and passed. Yeah. Because underdogs for the unblockable 1/1 to go with the encampment every turn is pretty good. No matter how we play it, we definitely have to draw into something to seal the deal, but it's a lot safer to just snare, hit for nothing that turn, and then set up for the repeatable underdog encampment swings. Yep, that is a stable board if I've ever seen one. It's perfectly sorted as well. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Adorable. I really want to flurry with the Stalwart, but I also kind of don't want to play Frontline Rush right now because it can sneak in 4 or 5 extra damage pretty easily. So am I just holding the Stalwart? I don't think I really have the time to just hold the Stalwart. Take 9, go to 10. You know what? I actually do. Let's hold for a turn. If I draw any other creature, then I get to go Stalwart plus that creature. And the turn after this, I go Encampment plus try to sneak a Frontline Rush kill in. Oh god. Teamer Battle Criers, they just get to shove their whole hand out for free. Yep, 0 mana Teamer Monuments. Battle Criers pretty legit. Yep. Go to 10. Kish the Skimmer. God dang it. I think if we drew a creature here, we'd have an out this game. Stalwart plus creature, next turn encampment, frontline rush for lethal. Drawing the monastery, I don't see a way to outrace here. Yeah, I can't flurry. Unless I monastery. No, I can't. Even if I Monastery, I'm tapped out if I play the Stalwart and activate Monastery. And I'm at 10, so I'm forced into the chump next turn. I go chump there, take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm forced into double chump. Which means now I do have to just frontline rush for the chumps. Alright. Yeah, that was a really, really pivotal draw step, and just hitting a land there means there is not an out as far as I know. If we had 2 copies of frontline rush, if I draw a duplicate, then that could win out of nowhere, but I don't think we have 2 frontline rushes in this deck. Sure. 0-1 heading into game 2. I'm gonna have to start down a card both games. Mull to 6 again. I have turn 2 flush out, but I'm on the draw, guaranteed not to play a creature till turn 3 if I keep this. I mean, with the flush out, it's probably better than a Mull to 6. But these have been some rough openers, these first 2 games. Yep. Our opponent's a green 4/5 color deck on the play. And we have, like, the slowest hand we could possibly draw. So they have all the time in the world to set up their mana and start casting big bomb rares and mythics to be stable. Under no pressure at all. There's the creatures off the flush out as we planned to do. But not playing a single creature till turn 3 on the draw. Just gives the 5 color deck all the time in the world. Yep, that's 5 color. Green, blue, red, black, white. So now they just outclass us with the power level of their spells individually. Because they have successfully made it to the late game. I technically should have let them pick the basic before I did that, but I highly doubt that affects which basic they choose. Sad I can't flurry with the Stalwart this turn. Let's see what bomb we're getting crushed by this game. Because it can be any one in the set when you're 5 color. Anything you open in pack 2 or 3, scoop that thing up. Beator, kin to all. That doesn't do anything if I kill it, right? That indeed does not do anything if I kill it. So static snare in order to flurry for maximum damage. Okay. That was as good as this turn possibly could have been for us. That they just tap out for one single creature and we get 1,000,000 damage in. Devoted Duelist off the top, actually a great draw that turn as well. Is Stalwart just gonna kill them? Despite the super slow start, we've reached explosive levels of damage each swing. That we could easily hit for like 12 if they don't interact with this board. Okay, there we go. kill the Stalwart, but killing the Stalwart just allows on offensive to put another creature on the board. Keep the board wide. There's another Dragon Brood's Relic. Do they have too many mana rocks here? I believe they are dead on board, especially to Flurry. I mean, obviously I was pretty pessimistic with the look at this game here, but I was not confident we were going to be getting anywhere with them having the mana to play any kind of big bomb or stuff, and then their big bomb was just one single really big creature, which means that we get to win that game. There are plenty of big bombs we would have absolutely lost to that game. Dragonback Assaults is a board wipe, plus you get a 4/4 flyer every time you play a land. The Jeskai instant, like, kills 2 of our cards and draws 2 and gets 2 blockers and gains 4 life. We super lose to the Jeskai instant. There's a lot of cards like that that are big 2, 3 for 1 kind of bombs. We die to any of those. The fact that all of the ramp just led into one single creature that dies to one single removal spell, that was really, really lucky. So we are 1-1 heading into game 3. I mean, I'll keep it, but every single land in this hand is a tap land, which is really awkward. We also don't get started till turn 3 again, but at least we get started on the play this time. I need to hit a basic by turn 3 if I want to start things by turn 3. Come on, basic off the top, basic off the top. By playing Dalkovin Encampment, any basic lets me underdogs. And mountains or swamps let me victor. We do not hit any basic, so we don't start till turn 4. Another Teamer deck. Embermouth Sentinel. Put a swamp on top. So 4 or 5 color all bombs deck. More tap lands. Alright, come on, Reigning Victor. Monastery pretending to be untapped for a second. I'm like, wait a second, I might have played differently if that were an untapped land. Actually, I wouldn't with this hand, but it's still funny. I'm gonna hold up all my instants here in case they do some silly business. No silly business. Underdogs it is then. Got a 2 mana instant speed removal spell I'm holding up by casting this. Okay, that is so much better than if I tried to play the big haste dragon. It's also really nice to have that resolved before my static snare is on board. This is really gross against static snare. They probably have a counterspell in hand here. They're choosing not to counter Exhale to counter the Stormshriek Feral instead. The question is, do they have another dragon in their hand to make it counter unless we pay 4? Gonna hope they don't. Yeah, we know from the way this plays out, whatever's in their hand is just a counterspell. Probably dispelling Exhale. Hope they have no dragon in hand so that we have the 2 mana up to actually resolve the Stalwart, or do I just pass here? I think it's crazy to just pass. They currently already have to like play to the board to not die. So if we just don't let them cast their counterspell, if they just keep passing and holding up, they're gonna die to Reigning Victor alone pretty soon at 12 life. There's the red source. Poke for 2. And they don't poke for 2. Okay, so chump block this turn. Still can't pay for counter unless we pay 4. If I hold full control and then I click next, if they choose not to do anything, I don't have an opportunity to use encampment, I think. I don't know, let's find out. Okay, I can use it before combat. They have nothing that targets a creature on board. It's literally just counter spells in hand, so let's just encampment. Play around the counter spell. Maximize damage output right here. Unless they have something that specifically targets an attacking creature. Oh no, they just didn't have a stop set up there. Sure. Well, that blitz thing is pretty good. Or the blizzard thing is pretty good. Annoyingly good there, in fact, because it lets them hold up the counterspell for free that turn. If I tap out for anything else, then they don't have to hold up the counter. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm tired, boss. Of course, Rebuke is creatures only, and of course this is not hitting planeswalkers. Why would any of our removal in hand do anything to an Ugin? Still can't flurry in hand. This is gain 3, draw a card a turn. If I let it stick around, I'm not damaging them at all. And every monument they cast is a removal spell now.
Fate flows as easily as water.
We know they have counters here. You can also just draw into a giant earth carver and it doesn't matter. Alright, I'm done. There's no winning this game from here. I'm just gonna move on and save my time. 1 and 2 heading into game 4. Alright, here we are for game number 4. We're 1 and 2 right now. We've got an excellent deck here, but we're still on that precipice of defeat after getting absolutely bombed into oblivion last game. I think there has been no other format where I've had more excellent decks get terrible runs than this one. Because there are just some astronomically swingy cards like Ugin. So hopefully we can dodge some of those and get to at least a reasonable record for this deck. Opponent starts with Earth Carver. Some astronomically filler stuff to start this game off. And they're done! They're like, wait, my Earth Carver sucks compared to a Fortress Kinguard, goodbye. And we did it. 2 and 1, no, 2 and 2, heading into game number 5. Alright, here we are. Playing more Magic. Playing more Tarkir Dragonstorm. The game is whatever it is. Dismal Backwater. Highly likely that our opponent is 4 or 5 color, because Dismal Backwater only lines up with Sultai, and Sultai being one of the green decks is a super popular way to transition to 4 or 5 color. Big damage for curving out this way. What does Devotee find? Sonic Shrieker Kinguard? Okay, well I need the lands for the Sonic Shrieker, so I'm ditching the Kinguard, but I'm going to keep that card for later. It's already a ton of pressure on our opponent. They're just playing a globe. They're a globe deck. That's definitely 4 or 5 color. Rescue Leopard turn here. Big bada boom. Maybe should have ditched the Shrieker too. I don't think that there's a particularly good argument for that, but Skirmish would be lethal if I got the land for it here. But we didn't know they weren't going to play a creature last turn. Or Skirmish would no longer be lethal if they just went creature into creature the last 2 turns. No, man, no. Well, double Sharpshooter's still pretty good. And they're still incredibly dead whenever I do find the Skirmish land. Oh. Come on. Skirmish was still insta-lethal as a draw there. I don't think it was possible to anticipate getting this astronomically punished for keeping one of the best cards in her deck on top there. That's wild. Oh, please. Oh, thank God. Okay, at least they don't have green removal. If they had green removal in hand here and they knockout blow, gain 7 life, because the Lotus Light Dancers would deal 7 to somebody. No. No! It's so much worse. Gain 24 life? Dude. This format's gonna give me an aneurysm. Well, I mean, at least now we know, even if I scryed the Shrieker to the bottom, I get split apart. This is our last game of Magic for today, so I might as well. Yeah, whatever. I'll die to 1 removal spell. There you are. Too late no matter how I played it. I don't think you could come up with a more frustrating way to end that draft if you tried. 1 land from winning 2 turns in a row. We missed 3 land drops. Well, by the end of the game, we missed like 4 or 5. Now, the Sultai card by itself isn't nearly as much of an insta-lose card as Ugin. But that and the double your power and toughness fight spell to gain 24 life. That's essentially just getting absolutely wombo combo mega bombed out twice in a row. Man. Yeah, what can you do? What can you do? It's possible the Ugin player did not have a counterspell in their hand the whole time and they literally had nothing castable for like 3 turns in a row, but that's pretty unlikely. So I think playing around the counter there was reasonable that game. If I went all in and they had literally no counters in hand, if it was just lands and an Ugin, then we probably do get to kill them before they play the Ugin, but that's only if there's not a single counterspell in their hand. With a single counterspell, we lose that game no matter how we play it. And then that final game, we lose it no matter how we play it. The only real decision was I could have scryed this Sonic Shrieker to the bottom towards hitting my skirmish mana earlier. But even if I did that, I wouldn't have hit it in time to stop them from gaining 24 and locking in the win there. Wow. Yeah, this deck was phenomenal. It's really sad to see it go 2 and 3. Double Sharpshooter's fantastic. It makes the Kin Guards and the Underfoot Underdogs huge pings. Those also play really well with the Salt Road Pack Beast, making that a super cheap way to get up in cards. The Double Sharpshooter also plays great with the Salt Road Skirmish. We have really nice top end as well with Sonic Shrieker being excellent, and then Feral to haste and extra damage. Teeny bit of bomb power of our own with the Non-Offensa, and plenty of exceptional removal, 2 Molten Exhales, Osseous Exhale, Static Snare, Skirmish, Double Rebuke, and a frontline rush to try to cheese out victories, but just got slammed. I think the main card quality we had, the main bomb rare quality, was the Anti-Flood Double Monastery plus Encampment there, to where we were on a full 17 land deck, but still just couldn't draw that Skirmish mana in time for that final game. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say. I'm really happy with the deck we ended up with. I think we drafted this pretty well. Gameplay wise, I might have played around the counterspell too hard, but I think we should have been playing around the counterspell at least a little bit there, and even playing around the counterspell a little bit wouldn't kill them before they play the Ugin. Unless I just pretended the counterspell didn't exist at all, and they definitely have nothing but lands in hand, we wouldn't kill them before the Ugin. If I did play that way, we could have killed them that game. So possible I misplayed that game. We can't ever know if they had the counter in hand by the time that one ended. But if they didn't, then that could have been a win. Either way, a rough run for what is an excellent deck looking at it. But that is how the cookie crumbles. That's how the cards fall today. It definitely happens to even the best of decks, especially in Tarkir Dragonstorm. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.